Hello, ladies, and welcome to the Liberated Woman podcast. I am your host, Christiano Green, and I'm a mindset coach for women, helping women to overcome rejection, self-doubt, self-sabotage, fears, all of that stuff, so they can truly have what they want in life. So this week on the podcast, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be sharing a interview that I was part of with another fellow coach and a good friend of mine, Bettina Banks, who is a shadow coach, a shadow healer. And basically what we discuss is, who are we when we take off the mask? Why are we wearing masks? What does it do to protect us? And also, how do we use this mask to actually enhance our lives and get the best out of it? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share that now, and I'll be back at the end. So watch ahead.
Yeah, so we just decided to come on board and let's collaborate and talk about everything that we want to talk about, which is what's underneath this mask, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So let's
Well,
start,
first,
babe.
yeah.
What does underneath this mask mean to you?
So underneath the mask means to me is basically like, who are you at your core? Who are you when you take
Mm.
off all the roles that you play on a day-to-day basis? Because we all play different roles, whether, we're a mother, we're a son, we're a boss, we're an employee, we're a
Yeah.
friend. We play different roles, and in different situations, we can put on a mask, sometimes to protect ourselves, or sometimes because we feel like that's what people want to see from us. And
hmm
what I find is when we take off the mask, underneath that, it's who we really want to be, not always who are we, because sometimes we don't always know who we are, right? Until we
Yeah,
create
correct.
who we want to be.
Yeah. In spirituality, as you know, Chris, I dig more a little bit into spirituality, and my work in transformation is more in spirituality. So the mask for me is really your ego.
Yes.
Let's just put it blatantly that it's your ego. And
Mm.
the mask is the performer. It can be the performer, which is what your ego can be as well. But it could also be your safe place that stops you from that growth, that stops
Yeah.
you from who you truly can be and who you truly are. So the whole mask is about you being able to either perform or stop yourself, and realizing and bringing that into your awareness that you can stop yourself from growth. Yeah, babe. So is that what you're actually trying to say as well? That the mask is one or the other, right?
Correct. Yeah. 100% ego is correct. It's there to, like you said, to either protect yourself or to put on a facade or whatever you feel like people need to see from you, because that's what you think people want, right?
Yeah, because what happens in our coaching world is that we get so driven to thinking society wants us to be something.
Definitely.
And in our coaching world, we do see that often. And when people come to us, Lena is like 100%. She knows what we're talking about, because what happens in the world today, and let's just say that it's not spoken more of enough, this is why we're doing this, is that society plays a part in creating who you should be. Not who
Yeah.
you want to be, but who you should be. And it's been affiliated in us from a very young age. So, from school to getting a job, going to uni, getting a degree first, right? But there's nothing wrong with that.
Mm.
But it sparks you from becoming your true self, which is also in line to your identity. Yeah, Cristiano?
100%. Correct. Yes. So that's what
Yeah.
I know you do a lot of coaches pretty much at the core. It's all identity mindset stuff to help people to uncover who they really are at their core.
Yeah.
So obviously that's helping people to kind of uncover their ego, take that mask off, and really start to go, okay, what is it that I want and who is it that I want to be? Not should be, like you said, which is taught to you from a young age. You should be this by, from your parents, or you should be this by your teachers. You should be this by your friends. Society is telling you a lot of things how you should be. But really
Mm.
what makes you stand out is that uniqueness that is inside of you, that core person that you are, that stuff that makes you different. We're not born to fit in. We're born to stand out and shine, right?
Stand
So
out.
yeah, if we're taking off that mask, it's like being that person that's really that one that you have on your back side, really rooting for you, going for gold, and giving you that motivation to show
to do
people,
life.
yeah, do life,
Yeah,
do
do
life and do it
life.
well.
How do you question, or what is it that you should be questioning, or what is it that we should be questioning in order to get us to become our true selves, or the truest identity for us to be able to acknowledge, babe? What do you lead your, or how do you lead your clients to becoming that? Because that's important.
Totally important. And yeah, it's an interesting question because obviously people will always come to your, especially when you come to your first session, they're wearing a mask from the get-go because they're
100%.
nervous. They're so like,
Yeah.
know that something's going to change, something's going to shift, and they've got this mask on, right? And they're coming here. It's like a barrier. They're afraid, right? Because they're uncomfortable about the fact that they're about to go through a bit of a transformation, right? Step one
Mm-hmm.
is admitting you need some help in getting it, right? But step two is that first session. It's like setting the goals, right? So for me, it starts with setting a goal of like, what do you actually want from life? Because a lot of
Yeah.
people, like if you ask a question, go, who are you? That I think is probably one of the hardest questions. People can't really answer that. But if you ask questions like, who do you want to
What is
be?
it
What
that you
do
want
you
to be?
want from life?
Yeah.
Like, what is your
Yep.
passions? You start to get better answers, right? So it's all for me. How I help people is I ask good questions that are going to get me answers that I feel like is going to help that person to ding, ding, ding moments in their mind, so that really see who they can be, right? Because to me, I didn't wake up going, I'm this person. I woke up saying, you know what? Who do I want to be and how do I want to show up today? Those are the questions I ask myself, right?
Yeah. And
And for
it's
you,
so
babe?
important. Yeah, well, that's important for me as well because without the labels, and as you know this, Cristiano, I went through my own identity crisis. And as you
Mhm.
know that, I was that celebrity and I was the person that was an influencer and I had all these labels on me, but I didn't realize that was what society wanted me to be. So when it got down to my core beliefs and core values of who I was going to want to become, it was just me acknowledging and owning it that I didn't know who I was,
Yeah.
right? And when you own it and actually go, fuck, I need help. I should have put a disclosure in here that I do swear quite a lot. Let's be honest, we all
Fucking
do.
swearing now.
It's when you actually stop yourself and own it and just go, you know what? I actually don't know who I am without all these labels because labels
Mhm.
is what society gives us because society is unsure of what we are.
Every level's a mask,
Um,
right?
every label is a mask. So who are you underneath being a celebrity, being a blogger, being a mum? Who are you underneath that? Because without all those things, who are you if you don't ask yourself those questions? And what a great reflective tool is asking yourself those questions. Is what
100%.
are you passionate about? Jay goes, stop fucking swearing. Nah, mate, we're gonna swear. And hi,
Coaches,
Elizabeth. I just saw you
coaches
jump in.
probably are the highest level of swearers. I from my experience anyway. Everyone fucking swears in our world, but it's kind of like that high, high level of like you get it, I get you. You know what I
It's
mean?
high level of passion, guys. Let us fucking swear. We're human as you are.
We're
The only
trying to fucking
difference.
give you some stuff here.
No, exactly, exactly. The only difference is that we're so passionate about making sure that we do this work and you guys do the work for you to keep moving forward. And that's
Yeah,
our goal. Our
totally,
goal is to trigger the fuck out of you, but to get you to move from A to B and then hopefully get to Z, which is the end goal, right?
totally, 100%.
Um, I love this mask. I love the fact that we're talking about this mask because this
Totally,
mask could mean your ego. It could mean your labels as well. It could
totally.
mean society labeling, or not society labeling you, but society wanting you to be specifically what it is to make them comfortable.
It's like
Um,
also coming out of the closet, right? That's another way of taking off the mask. So for a lot of people in my community, especially the people I work with, it's like there are people who are, have gone their whole life in closet, repressed feelings. So people who have so much repressed feelings throughout their whole life, and I know you understand this as well, because you've been stuck in in that world of this is who you are. But
yeah,
repression of the feelings it really pushes you back into like it helps, it's the stopping you of knowing who you are completely. That repression is like the most detrimental thing that I think can happen to people, is like really not feeling like you can say what you want or be who you want to be or even love who you want to love because of society putting that mask or putting that pressure on you and pushing you into a closet to fit a box or a mold that they want you to live by, because one, it makes them money and it makes them feel powerful, right? So anyone who goes against the mold is a hero in my books, to be quite honest, because showing up as who you are takes courage. And
Yes, it
I
does.
love seeing that. Whenever I see someone being authentic and true to who they are, I give them a fucking high five to the wazoo, because I love to see people get to experience that, because not everyone does. There's so many people walking around here with that mask on or with
Yeah.
that, label on themselves, and they don't even know it, right? They don't know it because
Yeah.
they've pushed it
Yeah.
so far away from them.
Yeah. And the thing with our society is that we actually have not become aware of this because we've normalized it,
It is
Cristiano.
normalized. So,
We've
so
normalized it to the point where we've repressed it, suppressed it so much, and in spiritual terms, we turn them into shadows. And what shadow means from wearing a mask is that you're actually even unaware that it's even underlying until someone triggers the fuck out of you,
yeah.
right? And
Mm.
then it comes up and it spreads throughout different dimensions of yourself, which is pretty much all your self-care dimensions. Whether it's from physical all the way down to environmental, that's how it affects your ability aware, to be aware of what it is that this mask is meant for you to do. Because you know what, babe? Even though there is a mask that we need to take off, you can actually use it to your control when you've made friends with
Yeah.
it.
100%.
Let's be honest, right?
Totally.
Because we all need to perform. And
100%.
sometimes we need that mask to be able for us to put on because we need to just put it on. Because, we get tired and we get frustrated or we get burnt out. And sometimes we just have to fake it to push through life because other people are out there wanting more from you when you know that you just can't do it, but you just need to put on this mask for you to push through, And as
Totally.
a mother myself, I do have to put on that mask sometimes too, Cristiano. Even though I'm not okay, sometimes I have to be like, look, I need to be there for my son. So today I'm just going to put on the mask and tomorrow I'll deal with it when I take it off, right?
Exactly, right, exactly. And you know what it's like. So some days you wake up and you've had a massive long day. We've been coaching the whole day before. You feel like, okay, I need some time for myself. But then, you've got to go back and either do more coaching or you've got to be a mother. And for me, sometimes I've got like a team of over 250 people, and sometimes I have to do like
Exactly.
a speech in front of a whole
Yeah.
group of people, and I don't feel my best. And I just, like I said, you do use that mask sometimes to your advantage and just be like, okay, this Cristiano is showing up today, and I'm going to utilize his skill set here. Even though he, underneath that mask, is super tired, he's not going to let other
Yeah.
people show because he's going to show up for them right now,
And what's beautiful about that is that the mask isn't controlling you. You're controlling the mask, right?
Yes, exactly
Because we've
right.
become so aware with it and we've fallen in love with it instead of repressing it and think that there's something wrong with us. Because sometimes we do that. Sometimes we actually repress it. We hate it so much that this mask that we put on is fake. But realistically, it's come out to kind of save you. So it could either work both ways. There's nothing wrong with the mask, guys. But realistically, you need to find your true self before you become able to yourself to control it and put it on whenever you feel like it.
Correct. That awareness there of
So
the
many
mask is
learnings.
the first thing. Because like I said, people don't know that they've got the mask on half the time because they think that's them normally, right? Until
Yeah.
you have that awareness of who you want to be and really like where you're going and how you've been walking around, I guess, sometimes numb, right? Like,
Yeah.
because that's sometimes what the mask does. It can numb us from our emotions to actually, what our ego is telling us to kind of, they say it save us or keep us safe, right? But
Yeah.
it keeps you small, and that's where it is. The problem is that the mask is that comfort zone, right? And like I said, I can put on the mask and I can be in front of 250, 300 people, and I feel comfortable because I'm so used to it, and that mask is there. But underneath it, where I'm uncomfortable, is that I'm not having a good day, and I'm feeling that I have to, I've got to be there for everyone else, but I've got to give myself time. So, I love it that I can put on that mask, do it, but take it off and go, okay, great. Now this is me. I'm uncomfortable now. Now I can really take care of myself, right?
Yeah. And now how do I deal with it? Right? And how do I actually break it down and be aware of it that I can't do this more than once, right? So it's nice that we can do that because that's so important because at the end of the day, whether we're not whether or not that we know that we have this mask, it's so important that we still know who we are. That's all.
100%.
You know, the next question I want to ask you is, how do people know that they're wearing a mask, babe? In your coaching world, because you deal with so many, you know, LG, am I even saying this right? I don't want to fuck it up.
LGBTQIA plus, lesbians,
That's
gays,
it. I love
bisexual,
that.
transgender, queer, intersex, asexual, and all of the things in between.
See how beautiful that is, guys? That's why I didn't want to fuck it up. Like, I just want Cristiano just to say it. Yeah. You know, in your community, how do you know that someone is actually wearing a mask? How do you know? Because
That's something that I was. Yeah, to me, this is a question I ask a lot of people, and I find that I'll ask you this, and you probably know the similar. I go, you go to someone, what are your goals for the rest of 2020? I don't know. If I ask that question, that person's wearing a mask because they don't know where they're going or who they are, right? If you don't have goals, to me, you're wearing a mask. If you don't know where you want to go or what you want for your future, you're wearing a mask. You're walking around blind, right? If you were to take that off and ask yourself, what do I want? Do you think you'd be able to answer those questions of what are your goals for the rest of the year? So for me, I find asking people about what they want for their future especially helps me to realize that someone's not there. That's that surface level, but there's that next level of me now knowing that person's wearing a mask. And then I'll be like, okay, then so what like, where are you at now? Like, how are you feeling about your life? I'll ask people again, how's 2020 treating you? And I'm sure you understand, if you ask people this, there's that people who say, I've had the worst year of my life, or they'll say, I'm thriving. And these people who are having the worst year of their life, and I'm like, why are you having what about this year is so bad? Oh, this whole COVID thing. And I'm like, oh, have you got COVID? No, I don't, but it's so bad. And I'm like, okay. And then you ask to dig it deeper, and people can't even tell you why it's bad, right?
Yeah, and that's a mask on itself, right?
Correct.
Because in NLP, that's living in effect. Yeah, babe?
Correct. 100%.
Yeah. That's living in blame and shame in spiritual terms, because you're practically projecting. And when you're projecting, you're blaming and shaming, and you're not utilizing what it is that you're meant to be doing with yourself and dealing with it in ways of being reflective. Yeah, guys. And there was a question just came through. How am I supposed to deal with it? By being reflective, by asking yourself those questions. What are my goals? How am I going to get there? Am I blaming anyone along the way? Because there's no one to blame. Because realistically, the life that you have is in your control, right?
Totally.
It's in your control. Is Matt's going, B coming through? I'm coming straight through, girlfriend. I see Warner as well. Warner, thank you so much. Yes, we're both legend. I see Royal Club as well coming in. That's Pip there. She's going, yes, I love this shit.
Reflective queen. That's what you are.
Yeah.
We're reflective queens here.
Yeah, we're all reflective queens here. So,
exactly.
As much as you hate trying to deal with it and fuck it off, it's actually going to come back later and bite you in the ass, bigger and more fucking painful than ever. Yeah?
Exactly. Correct. So yes, the people who put on that stuff of like, this is the worst year of my life because of the events that are happening in the world, shows that mask to me, because they're living their life by what society is saying is a good year or a bad year. Like, everyone's like, this is once in a lifetime, this is the worst thing. It's like, yes, but it's also been an amazing opportunity for people to go within and to take that mask off and look inside of you at home without having to do that in the real world, right? But people are afraid of that loneliness, and that is what they're afraid to step into and take the mask off, because they might really go, okay, well, what is loneliness and what does it feel like? But then people don't want to step into that, right? Because once you step into loneliness, then it's like, okay, what does this mean for me? Why am I feeling this way? What can I do to change it?
Yeah.
Putting on the mask means I'm masking all the feelings that I want and telling people that I'm amazing. I'm having this fabulous day, or sitting there saying it's the worst year of my life.
My life. Yes. And as much as this hurts, guys, and as much as this hurt, and as much as how truthful this is the truth. Okay? The truth is all your thoughts, all your emotions is going to be the choices and the decisions that you can make for you to be better tomorrow. That's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's you taking off the mask or putting it on, it's still a choice. It's still a choice. And I always ask this with my clients, and I'm the
Actively
same as
choose,
you.
right?
Yeah, you actively choose, which is you internalizing, choosing whether if learning makes you feel fucking bad or if it feels good. You're
Yeah.
actively choosing.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's beautiful about this mask is knowing that you are putting it on if you're dealing with something that you haven't dealt with, and you put it on in most cases to fill up a void as well.
Yeah. 100%.
I don't know about you, babe, but when it comes to shadow work, and that's what we call putting on that mask and faking it and think that there's nothing there, usually what we do is that we become so complacent for ourselves. We become so complacent that we don't even realize that it's even there until somebody else triggers the fuck out of us. Like, in all honesty, that's you having to perform with the mask on, right?
Totally.
But
Yeah.
it's so beautiful that I'm able to have this conversation with you, babe, because you know what? As much as we do the work in our different communities, it's still the same concept. It's still the same concept.
It is.
Because all of us want peace, don't we, within ourselves, right?
People want inner peace. People want to really find like joy and happiness, right? And I don't think if you're wearing a mask, you can really find true happiness or joy or peace, because like you said, you're playing a character sometimes. And like I said, sometimes it's good for us, but it's not until you get away, you take off your makeup, you scrub yourself down and take off that mask and sit down and relax. That's when you can find peace. But if you can't feel comfortable enough to do that, how are you going to find it, right?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know about you, but when the I don't know how to find it becomes so painful to the point where you just have to go, it's so painful, I've got to do something about it, is when that shift happens. Because when you actually ask yourself and sit in that pain, there's two things you can do. Sit in it for so long that it becomes your mask, right?
Yeah.
Or sit in it and just actually be aware of it and go, okay, I'm in so much pain. What do I have to do about it now? Because I want to change. And this is where
100%.
coaching comes in. Yeah?
Yeah.
This is
Totally.
where coaching comes in. I guess the beautiful thing about us being able to take off the mask with you is that because we've done it, it gets
Totally.
easier for us to be able to guide you. Like 100%.
And I
Yeah.
know that like there's that whole thing of like the mask and masking stuff through, you know, unhealthy habits like drinking and drugs and food and whatnot, over all those things. And I, you know, I can attest to, once I was able to fully take off the mask and truly own who I am, I was able to give up an addiction that I had to alcohol that had been with me for 10 plus years. And it wasn't one of those addictions where I was drinking all day, every day, but it was one of those ones where if things got too much or I couldn't handle something, I would have a drink, and then I would have
Yeah.
another drink, and I would have too many drinks to the point where I couldn't remember. So that was a mask for me. I was trying to mask away any stress or any pain that I was going through, because it felt better to be numb at that point, because I was not ready to fully take off the mask and uncover those feelings. But I also felt so much fucking better when I actually did and dealt with it, even though it was painful and tough. That dealing with it really helped me to move forward and really realize, okay, like, why do I even need this? I feel like the last 3 or 4 months have been the most actual pivotal 3 or 4 months of my life, and I've been sober the whole
Moments
time.
ever.
Like, I have felt so much more joy, so much more peace, so much more fulfillment, and I can provide so much more value to my clients because of that, right? And if I wasn't able to do that and I continued my life, I wouldn't be here talking to you today, because I wouldn't be
100%, babe.
focused and present with you, right?
No, because I remember when you actually told us that when you were not drinking anymore. And I was like, wait, what do you mean? Like ever? And you were like, yeah. I didn't
I know,
understand
right?
why, but this is so beautiful, babe. Like, congratulations. How many days are you drink free now?
Do you know what?
How
It's
many
funny.
days are you?
We're number people. 111 today.
No
New beginnings,
way.
baby.
No way.
It totally is 111 days. I knew you'd love that. I was like, yeah, tell
111
her some of
days.
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Congratulations, guys. It's 111 days that
Thank you.
Cristiano has not had a drink. Guys, that's awesome. Babe, that is amazing.
Not
Well
even had a
done.
drink or not even want to drink. It's like that thing of like because I go to a weekly AA meeting just to check in, right? And
Yeah.
like yesterday's meeting was all about service and how to give back so that you can, because on your journey it's the priority, part of it is helping other people to stay on that journey, right? So
Yeah.
we were talking yesterday and it got to that point where I was like, you know what am I doing to serve people who are not drinking, like who want to not drink? Because I know that from people who talk in the actual sessions, some people struggle to go, even an hour without a drink. And I go, wow, what would that feel? What does it feel like to want to be living so, like living life so
To
tough
be
that you feel like,
reliant on it? Yeah. To be
yeah, to
reliant
need
on
it,
it?
to get up in the morning, and that's how you have to start your day, because some people can't get out of bed with it. And it
Yeah.
really puts into perspective to me, like, I'm so glad I never got to that point, but it also makes me go, now I'm so glad that I'm doing what I'm doing and that I'm a part of that, because the service that we do fulfills me enough so that I don't go near that drink again. It saved me
Yeah.
doing what I do, being of
Yeah.
service to others and being there to show up so that I can help someone else have a transformation. I'm not touching a drink again because that would fuck up all of this, and I don't want to go back there.
And that's a promise that you're going to keep for yourself, but also for others that are in the same path, babe. And that's probably
Right.
why we become coaches, because there's something in us that was like, we've been through enough pain. Let's show others how to get to the same place, which is that peace and fulfillment and happiness that we all deserve, which is
Yes.
just so inspiring, babe. So thank you so much. And everyone's giving you, like, Leni's giving us like hand claps, and Isnat's giving us flowers, and Elizabeth said angel numbers 11
Yeah,
111.
all the new beginnings. And I'm a massive numerology fan, so every time I get to numbers, I'm always like, okay, cool. So when it was 111 today and we were chatting, I was like, Betty is a number bitch too, so she loves it.
I do. MJ just says here that we can only wear the mask for so long before burning out. Oh, babe, 100%,
Totally.
right? And it's not even just burning out, it's actually fucking crashing and crashing so hard to the point where you just take so long to get back up to where you were before, right? You know,
Yeah.
you just don't want to be in that spot anymore. You don't want to be in that place anymore because of how much it was so hurtful for you. So yeah, you don't want to keep wearing that mask because you'll burn out, and you'll burn out harder, and you'll burn out faster, right?
You're so much faster. The more, like you said, the longer it's on, the harder it is to take off.
Off.
But it
Yeah.
actually, but it's also even, no, it's not that it's just even harder, but it's even like you don't even know how to do it or that it's even there, because that's how much the mask is. It's almost like it's molded onto your face, like people who put those clay masks on and do like their
Yeah.
face molds. It sometimes is like that, like you can flip it around and it's your face there, right? Whereas there's some masks that are completely not you, right?
Yeah. Can I
There's
just
those,
say though, this is the same as shadow work, but the darker the shadows, the brighter the light at the end of the tunnel. Can I just say? Can I
I
just
agree
say? So I'm not
100.
I'm not saying that when you hit rock bottom you can't fucking come out of it. You can, but it takes courage. It takes commitment. You're right. It also takes belief and hope within yourself, and that
Tenacity,
confidence
yeah.
in knowing, yeah, and tenacity, and knowing that there are going to be others that are willing to help you, but all you need to do is go, I fucking need help. I literally just need help,
Babe,
right?
what's the most powerful word in the English language?
Help.
Boom.
Help is the most powerful word in the English dictionary. And if you don't use it, how do people know if you need help or not? If you don't
Exactly.
use it, how are people going to know? We're not mind readers. I mean, I am clairvoyant, but I'm not, just saying. Like,
There's too many minds out there, right? And it's hard to
there's too
navigate which
many
one to
minds
read.
out there. Yeah, yeah. But I hope you guys are loving this chat that Cristiano and I are having. And if you guys have any more questions about the mask or ego, throw it at us. We're more than happy to answer any questions that you guys have
Or
burning
anything in
away.
general, like, yeah, we're happy
Oh, yeah.
to answer anything, but yeah. On topic, off
We
topic.
can talk outside the topic as well. We
We're
can talk
we're,
about our personal life if you want.
we're rebels here.
We can talk about anything you want, guys. But honestly, today was such a good day. I did a lot of ego work as well with my clients. So those who are watching that did ego work with me, they would understand what this is all about, Cristiano. And they were actually like, oh my gosh, I had no idea that it was my ego that was stopping me from playing my part in my visualization about what I want to do in life. I had no idea that it's causing me to create fear and instill fear within myself to do better, right? Because the mask is also calling me a failure. So I have to put on this mask and pretend that I'm not one.
Exactly. And sometimes it's that thing of like, there's that concept of putting on the mask so that you can become something more as well, right? Because you can tap into things within the mask. And then what happens is because people, it's almost like that, because that use that mask in your favor, right? So if you want some courage, I'm going to put on the mask of courage today, right? But then what happens is the more you put it on in those situations, you realize one day you stop putting it on and you're just courageous as fuck, right?
Yeah, yeah. Because you're actually putting on the mask for a positive and valid reason instead of putting on a
That's
mask
by
for the sake of it.
utilizing it. Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Because you're in control of it at the end
100%.
of the day. But honestly, babe, that's been the best topic for this week, and our numbers are aligning, so we're meant to talk about this. I love
100%.
the
All
fact
the
that,
numbers align.
yeah, all the numbers aligned. But no questions are coming through anymore. I think everyone's just like, man, that was a big hit of ego and mask work. So let's just let them go off and settle in that. So they can, if you guys have any questions, reach out to myself or Christiana. And yeah, Ellie just said 100% with the makeup thing. Yeah, yeah,
Totally. Yeah.
we get it, babe. We get it. Because, makeup again is also another mask. Unless you fully love yourself, then makeup should be a part of you, right? Makeup is an expression, not a mask.
Yeah.
A lot of my girlfriends are makeup artists, and that's what they say. Mary says, "I love this. I look forward to watching another one." Oh, there's going to be another one, isn't there, babe? Now
We're gonna repeat
someone
now.
has said that.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah,
100%. Always great
yeah.
talking to you, Betty, anyway, right?
Always good talking to you. Hey, and if you guys haven't followed Cristiano yet, please give him a follow and support him. And he's just so inspiring to me as well in what he does with his community. I've never heard of a coach like you in your community, babe. So fucking job well done, honestly. Like
Oh,
from the
thank you.
bottom of my heart. Yeah.
Thank you, honey.
We just need more of you. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we'll do another one of this, and we can talk about something else next time. Happy to.
For sure. We'll find another beautiful topic to inspire over there. But for me, I'm actually running my next 7-day challenge starting next week, Monday, November 9th. And I go into a lot of this stuff here. So I'm all about helping people to build up their self-confidence, find your authentic voice, live your life congruently, help you to take off the masks that aren't serving you and release yourself from those negative thought patterns and limiting beliefs so that you can really connect to who you are and step into your uniqueness. So that starts November 9th, next Monday, goes to 7 free challenge. So if anyone's interested, feel free to DM me and I'll give you some details on that as well.
I'm looking forward to see a 7-day care challenge, babe. It's amazing what you can do in 7 days when you're that committed. I remember I just did my 7-day self-care challenge and people were just mind blown with. Yeah, I just did one. So I don't know when I'm going to come out with my other one, guys, but you guys got to do Cristiano's first before you come to mine. So there you go.
Get mine.
We've got to wait for my one in the next.
Yeah. You warmed him up and I'll take him on and then you can take him on. We'll just do tag teams.
Exactly. Exactly. Lenita just said, I like your hat, Cristiano. Everyone loves your hat, babe. That's so you, by the way. That's so you. I love it. I'm
a hat. Yeah, I love a good hat, right? Especially when I'm just a couple of days overdue for a haircut.
I can't even tell. I can't tell. You look fine. You look fine.
Because I'm wearing the hat. I should take off the hat, take off the mask, guys. Here we go.
Nice.
Uh,
Ellie just said, love you guys. We love you too, Elle.
yeah,
And
love
Pete
you
says,
guys.
yes, spiritual sandwich. She's like, yeah, you guys get all of it. You guys get a lot of us. And you guys will get a lot of us. And if you guys have any questions about what it is that you guys want us to talk about, maybe just drop us a DM as well. Maybe me and
100%.
Christiana can get together and we'll talk more about these things, guys, because the mask and the ego is a big part of you. You just need to learn to also accept it, but to also understand that you need to be aware of it before you can control it. That's
100%.
that's the recipe in my books. And there are times when your ego is going to perform for you no matter what. There are times when you need to put on the mask, and that's fine. But you can't keep putting it on and faking it because you'll burn out faster. That's what the mask does,
That's
right?
just reality. Yeah, it's reality. It's
It's
correct. It will burn out so much
the
faster.
reality is, babe, like you can only fake it as much. There's a fine line between faking it until you make it.
Mm.
I don't believe in that statement. I believe in faking it until you can't handle it, to be honest with you, because you'll have the identity crisis by the end of faking it until you make it. There's no such thing. Just just actually
Totally.
be aware
I'd
of it.
say
Take it off.
to me,
Yeah,
fake it or create it, right? Because
exactly.
you're either pretending or you're promising yourself, this is what I want to be, right? So one is that coming
100%.
from a place of like, I'm definitely not being authentic, but I want to show people this and faking it. But there's
Mhm.
that creating, it's like,
Mhm.
I'm creating this energy that I'm putting out because if I put it out, then what happens? What goes around comes around, it comes back to you, right? So creativity
Correct.
creates creativity, love creates love, hate
Yeah.
creates more
Creates
hate
hate.
if you let it. You know what I mean? So what are you trying to create, right? What are you trying to bring
Mm.
into the world? Because whatever that is, own it authentically and it will come right back to you.
100%, babe. I'm with you on that. And I always tell my clients this: if you're not creating life, life will create it for you. And it could
Mm.
be bad and it could be good. You just don't know. You just got to go with it because you're the one that's stepping back and not being in control. Life is doing it for you. So realistically, it's up to you if you want to create it or not,
And do it with
right?
purpose, right? Do you want to do life
Exactly.
purposefully or do you want to do life where it's doing you? And, you know,
Exactly.
and you're going to be constant because if you do it that way, you're going to be constantly swimming up a river. You want to, or do you want to
And
go with
we've
the
been
flow?
there. We've
Exactly.
been there.
We've all
How hard
swam
is it
up
to
that
swim up the
fucking
fucking
river.
river? How hard is
Oh,
it to go against the grain, right? It's hard. It's really hard, but you need to push yourself to be able to go, you know what? I can do this. I can do this better, and I'll just flow with it, right? But I'll create it and create that flow as well. And that's beautiful when you actually acknowledge the fact that you're actually in control to create as well. So,
It's me again here, ladies, and I trust you got a lot of value out of that interview. I love talking with her. We can talk about that topic for hours and hours, as we just stated. So I'm really, really, really looking forward to hearing what you have to say on the topic. So comment below or reach out to me on social media. As like I said, there's probably a lot of things percolating for you right now. And I will be back here next week with a brand new episode of the Liberated Woman podcast. All right, ladies. Bye for now. Have a fantastic week.